It's very exciting. We're very proud of everybody tonight. I think they really came through. Every aspect of it, the design, lighting, staging, Warren Carlyle's work, the music. It feels like a triumphant night.
I just think it's so beautiful. I think the story is so beautiful. There's such a great deal of humanity about it. It's a lesson that we can all learn in this day and age, and I love it.
Well, there's a couple of really strong themes, mainly love being stronger than hate, and the need to have forgiveness in your life, and how not having forgiveness can really wreck your life. And it's just a universal story that is timeless.
I think with this, just like with any sort of great, big, huge, epic novel, you got to sort of pick and choose what story you're going to tell. I mean, there's the main story, but then you have to kind of sift through and see what side stories are going to be interesting and all that. And I think Jill's done a really good job with telling the main story of the book, but also including enough of the side stories to make it interesting and funny, hopefully. And so I think it's a really good version without sort of coming across as sort of a Cliff Notes version. You know what I mean?
It's so powerful and so moving, and I think it speaks to a lot of people because it's that message that one man can make a difference, and it's never too late.
I did the concept album, and and then it was like maybe 4 years until then when I got the role. But boy, I wanted this role so bad. And I actually, Barbara was sitting at the session, Barbara Russell, the producer, was sitting at the session when I was recording the album. And I just looked at her and I said, girl, I gotta play this part.
We knew the best performers in the business, and we made sure we got them.
And the tallest cast in the history of Broadway, I believe.
I think we probably have the tallest cast.
We have 10 men over 6'3", so we have a very large cast.
My agent called me and said, they want you to do this Tale of Two Cities. And there were like 3 or 4 that have been kicking around. You know how that happens, you 1 or 2 or 3 shows. And I said, well, which one? And he's like, well, it's this new one. Well, it's sort of new, but not new. And I said, do they have any recordings? And he said, yeah. So they sent me the concept CD. And I listened to Reflection, which is the first big song that Sidney Carton sings. And I started to cry when I listened to the song. And I called up and I said, I'm in. And that was in 2004. And we've been working on it ever since. And it's been a journey of love, it really has.
I do love epics. I mean, I grew up with Les Mis and Miss Saigon, and so I'm a child of the epics, and I do love them. I saw a presentation of this a few months ago and sobbed all the way through, and they were just standing at music stands. So I thought when I had the opportunity to do the show, I thought, wow, it would be amazing.
Well, I've been working on this show for like the last 6 years in workshops. I love it. I just love it. I fell in love with it when I first read it.
Why tell this story now? Okay, I don't know if you want to hear this, but this is why. We're living at a time of incredible hatred and intense division. The world is a pretty miserable place for many people right now. Here's a story that actually wears its heart on its sleeve. It says, love is stronger than hate, and if you live for vengeance, that you can pretty be sure that a feisty old English woman with a great sense of humor will probably shoot you through the heart with your own gun. That's the message of this story.
Did you know this story before you got this?
I was assigned to read it in English class. Never really got around to reading Tale of Two Cities.
I did read the book when I was a kid, yeah, I did. And then I, of course, forgot it.
I don't think we read any Dickens when I was in high school. So the English department of Summit High School, what the heck were you thinking?
No, I didn't read the book until I got the part, and then I read the book really quickly because I had all this press to do, and I was like, I have to be prepared, and I just kind of got thrown into it. And it's an epic book, and the fact that Jill has taken that huge novel and compressed it into our show is amazing. Like, and I feel like the whole story still flows.
I kind of can't remember if I read it in high school. I think I read it in high school. I've subsequently read it, so because I had to come down here and kind of because there's a lot of story to tell. And so, in order to kind of fill in a lot of blanks, I thought, well, I ought to check the source material. So, I picked up the book and, I've gone through and, kind of just to piece it together. And, that Dickens has a career ahead of it. It's a good book.
I was never forced to read anything by Mr. Dickens. I read everything that the Kanawha County Public Library had in Charleston, West Virginia.
So did you read it when you were a kid?
Hell no, I still haven't read it. I don't read. No, I was the guy who used to sneak in when they had book reports. I would sneak in and I would steal somebody's A from last semester. Then I'd recopy it a little bit and pass it back in, and I wasn't good at that.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I have no shame.
But it feels a very natural thing to me to take work of true literary merit and find a way to make it work in a kind of distilled way that people respond to the essence of the story.